So I'm here with Nils Adermann, and he gave a talk today on the KDE Forums and reaching out to the community. And just had a couple of questions for him to give us a sort of brief summary about what the talk was. So first off, I just wanted to start out. I know you're with the PHP BB project, and I was curious if you could tell us a little bit about how that collaboration got started with KDE.
I'm the lead developer of PHP BB. And a while ago, when KDE Forums were originally started, a different software was picked for the forums. And I wrote an email to Ingo, who administrated that project back then, asking what the reasons were. And he replied with an email listing lots of different, very interesting items that we tried to incorporate in further newer versions. And then a little while later, they realized that they picked the wrong software, basically, and that there were plenty of problems with that one. And he still had my email address, sent me an email. We met on IRC, had a brief discussion, and soon after that, a lot of other PHP developers, as well as other members of Ingo's team, joined in, and together we started working on a conversion tool from the old software, and within less than a month, I think, the conversion was done, and all the necessary features from the old board were implemented. So that was quite successful.
Okay. And that was a pretty, so like the work that you were doing and the work that, say, Ingo and the rest of the group was doing, you were able to sort of commit things back to each other's code bases, or how did that work?
So yeah, there's a few plugins, for example, we use on our own side that are useful for high traffic websites or forums. These aren't part of the standard distribution simply because they require certain non-standard setups. They're used by a few other forums as well. We were able to provide KDE with these additional plugins. And on the other side, KDE has provided us with a number of patches for both bugs as well as additions of features to these additional plugins.
Cool. So I guess about how long ago did all this get started?
It was 2 years ago already, I think. Somewhere, that must be 1 year.
What, 1 or 2 years?
I think June 2009, I think.
Okay. So in that short period of time, how would you say that the KDE community could best make use of these forums to sort of reach out to the extended user base?
So I think they were right away quite a success with a large number of users who simply had discussions. And then the additional features built in, like Brainstorm, I think is quite popular with KDE developers as well, where users can suggest ideas that get voted up or down, and other additional features that go beyond the regular discussion features of a forum, like the gallery that was implemented, or the K-Dialog, the voting up and down of answer or posts, which can be used to, for example, pick the highest rated questions for an interview, which was one example. So these additional features that go beyond regular discussion are something that brought a lot to the community, I think.
And how about in terms of utility to the developers themselves, and what they would be able to get out of this?
Discussion is between developers and users always has the problem that developers easily feel overwhelmed with the amount of feedback they receive. And on a forum, it's much easier to deal with the amount of feedback because there's moderation. A large team of moderators are very actively making sure that non-constructive feedback is removed, or rather moved to other areas of the forum, so that developers can focus on the constructive and relevant parts that are really interesting for them.
Cool.